Hello, fellow traders. Nutty Bar Trading coming to you on a Saturday afternoon. And in today's video, I'm finally going to do the video for the trade copier. And basically, this is a video of how I use the trade copier and kind of the different functions that are available with the trade copier. If you're new here, I trade, currently I'm trading 16, you can see right above me, I'm trading 16 funded accounts, and I'm also trading 3 evaluation accounts. I'm trading all of those at the same time. I do trade live every day. That's something that interests you. You want to follow me along on this journey or trying to get to payout, hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. But yeah, today I've been getting a lot of questions about trade copier. Which one I use, kind of the popular trade copiers out there is the Replicanto trade copier and the Apex trade copier. Honestly, I don't personally think there's a big difference. I have been recommending people to use a Replicanto because they do a better job with keeping that up to date, though I have actually been only using Apex trade copier just because I was having some issues with getting Replicanto script to work on my PC, and it was on my end. Basically, I fixed it this morning so I could show you both trade copiers, and you can kind of see for yourself, but there really isn't that much difference between the two. So I'll let you make that decision. I do have a link in the description to both the Apex and the Replicanto one, and we'll just kind of go over both of them, show you the options for both, and you can make your own decision. But yeah, I think the trade copier is very, very valuable. Obviously for me, trading 16 funded accounts and trading 3 evaluation accounts, it gives you a lot of different options, and I'll show you that as well. But it's obviously very valuable. For me or anyone that's trading multiple accounts, you can see the value with a trade copier. Okay, so we will get started here. First, I just want to show you the website for both. So Flowbots is the website that sells. It's called the Replicanto. They have more stuff for sale or products. I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to promote that. But basically here you can see it says $0 to $249. But if you select options, it'll take you actually to the site. And if you scroll down, the license type, if you choose single machine, the price is $149. If you know that you need 2 machines, you can buy 2 machines right away for $249. Or you can, in the products page, if you later know that you need to add an additional machine, you can do it here, where it's basically you do the additional machine and you change it to one time, lifetime, or 1 year. 1 year is $49 and the lifetime is $99. So hopefully that makes sense. And then if we go to the Apex one, let me just scroll up. So here, this is the Apex site. And then if you go to, oh man, now tools. Sorry, I almost forgot. So go to tools, and then here you will see the trade copier and sign up here. But basically this price here is $150 as well. So basically $150 for both. Now, full disclosure, I did actually sign up as an affiliate for Replicanto. So I'll put in the link in the description as well for a 20% discount code. So I guess you can get 20% off for the Replicanto. And that's probably also why I would recommend it, not just because I'm affiliated. Obviously, that helps me out. Full disclosure, I appreciate using the code. But if I can save you guys 20%, then obviously I want to do that. But they're very similar. I think Replicanto does a better job of keeping theirs up to date. So, and you can save 20%. So I think that would be the smart option, but I'll let you make that choice on your own. All right, now let's get into the actual of how it works. I'm going to hide my rhythmic account balances because this way you can see better. Okay. Let me just hang on. Let me hide. Sorry, I'm doing this as a one take, live take, so just bear with me. I'm going to hide that as well. There we go. Now we will have a cleaner image here. So basically you go to new. Also, I'm not going to go in detail on how to get it on here, NinjaTrader. I could have done that, but I didn't want to waste a lot of time. But basically just follow, once you buy it, you'll get an email, follow the instructions, and I didn't have any issues once I did everything correctly. Just importing that Ninja script, and basically once you've done that, here you go, you'll see an Apex copier right here, and then to the right is Apex Trade Copier, and then a little bit further down is Flowbots, and then you'll see the Replicanto one here. So for now, we're going to start off with Apex Trade Copier, and let me get it on the right, open on the right window here. Okay, so this is what it will look like when you open it up. First thing you want to do is select your instrument. So select whichever symbol that you want trades to be copied from. This is very important. So for example, if you're trading NQ and you're trading another instrument like ES, the way I always do it, first set up this. So first we will need to choose a leader account. So this is the account that you will then link here where you will actually trade from. So this is the leader account. So let's select a leader account. I'm going to just, for example, choose this account, and then you can choose the method. So this is where you can choose kind of different options, and we'll go over a couple of them. If you look at the drop down, there's exact quantity, equal quantity, available cash, net liquidation, and percent change. These four, I'm not even going to talk on them. I've never used them. I don't really see when there would be a reason to use them. So I'm not going to talk about them. But exact quantity is what I primarily use. But we're going to look at ratio as well. But for now, we're going to do exact quantity. And then here where you see the on column, you just select whichever account that you want to be copied to. And, you know, once we do this, once I place a trade with this, I wish I thought about doing this when the market was live so I could actually do trades showing an example. That might have been a better option, but it's Saturday, the market isn't live, so I can't really do that. So I guess it is what it is. But trust me, these accounts will now, once you place a trade with this apparent account, all of these accounts will be copied the exact same number and everything. Okay. So now let's look at the ratio. So if we do ratio, that means now here we have an additional column showing up as ratio. What that means is it will ratio the quantity. So if I enter a quantity of 1 from the parent leader account, it will ratio that quantity to all the follower accounts where you want it to. For example, this one, let's say I just want to do a ratio of 1 to 1. Okay. So that means this one, if I trade a quantity of 2, it will also be a quantity of 2. It's the ratio. It's not the quantity. It's the ratio. Now, let's say this account, I do a ratio of 2. That means if I trade a quantity of 1 on the parent account, it will take 2 trades. It'll do a ratio of 2. Okay, but this is very important. If the parent leader account, they change it to a quantity of 2, because it's a ratio quantity, it'll take 2 times 2. So that means you will be trading a quantity of 4 on this account. Okay. And also of note, if you just leave it 0, even though this green check mark is checked, it will not take a trade because you're a quantity of 0. 1 times 0 is still 0. So this needs to be, if you want to use ratio, obviously it doesn't make sense to have 1 because, if you only want a couple accounts to do maybe a ratio of 2, maybe a couple accounts you want to be a little bit more aggressive, then you might do a ratio of 2, maybe 3. But just keep in mind, if the parent account trades 2 contracts, the accounts with a ratio of 3, those will trade a quantity of 6 contracts. 2 times 3 is 6, last time I checked. So that is how the ratio works. Hopefully that makes sense. Now let's go back to exact quantity. Okay, now another feature that is very, very helpful for doing these with this trade copier is you can right click anywhere here in this kind of blank area and you can do cross order. And what this does is for the NQ, now if I do the cross order and I checkbox this, it will cross order to the MNQ, which is the micros. Okay, so now instead of trading NQ to NQ, I will make a trade off NQ on my parent leader account, but then on my funded accounts, that's how I currently have it set up. But basically, for example, for me, on my evaluation accounts, I'm trading the regular mini contracts. But then for my funded accounts, I transition and cross order my funded accounts to the MNQ. So I'm trading the micros on my funded accounts, yet on my evaluation accounts, I'm trading the mini contracts. But basically anytime, you have to click this checkbox on every single one, and you can see this shows up as MNQ. That is the micros. And if I would change this symbol to ES, it's going to change to the micro ES. So that is very powerful. Yeah, or I feel like it's very powerful. You can trade off the mini, chart, but it'll actually cross order and the orders actually will be placed on the micro contracts. Now, I will say, as a disclaimer, when you're using market orders, I wouldn't recommend using market orders for the trade copier. I try not to, even though when I exit positions and close orders, obviously those go through as a market order. I'm okay with that, but for your entries, I try to always use a limit order. I've had instances where it will just take right to my limit order and it will only fill the mini contract, but it'll fail to fill the micro contracts. So there is a little bit of discrepancy there. And just, one thing, make sure you always have an open position tab that you're watching constantly, so that just to make sure you're not in a trade when you don't think you should be, and monitor your open positions. Obviously, tracking all these accounts, it's not a foolproof system, and there are instances where maybe you think you're not in a trade. I've had that happen as well, where I'm trading off the mini chart and I place a limit order and the price comes down just to the limit order and it doesn't fill me on my mini contract. So on my chart, it doesn't look like I'm in a trade, but on the micros, the micro contracts got filled because there is a little bit of discrepancy, or there can be, between the mini and micro chart. So that has happened as well. So just be careful, have your open position tab and make sure you're monitoring that. Excuse me. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense with the cross orders. Now you can also do a cross order and a ratio, and sometimes that makes sense. If, for micros, obviously are a lot less risk. So you can do a ratio here, and, maybe on your micros, maybe accounts that you're trading micros, you want to do a ratio of 2. Then you just go through, put 2 on all the contracts that you want a ratio of 2, and make sure you have your micro or your cross order checked. Now, if you're trading with a ratio of 2, it'll enter, 1 mini contract. For every 1 mini contract, it will actually fill 2 contracts of the micros. Or you can do a ratio of 3 or 4. You can do as much as you want, but obviously, be careful, do the math, make sure you're not, whatever your risk parameters are. But yeah, that basically sums it up. And the way I always do it, so the way I do not do ratio, I do exact quantity. And then once I have one instrument exactly how I want it, and you can see the PA accounts are always start out with a PA. That's why they're called PA accounts, or the funded accounts. These 3 accounts are evaluation accounts. So I want to trade these 3 accounts using the regular mini contract, but everything else I want to trade on the micros. So this would be how I usually have it set up for me. And then once you have it set up, then if you just right click on the tab, you can do duplicate in new tab. It's going to make a duplicate. Now, just make sure that you change the instrument. So here I want to change this to NQ. Again, just something to be careful of. If you duplicate and you don't change the instrument, your trade copier is going to duplicate your trades twice. If you have 2 windows open, it will duplicate it twice. So be careful. That is one of my check boxes that I have in the morning before I go live, before I start trading. I always open up my trade copier. I go through and I make sure to have everything the way I want it. Make sure there's no duplicate windows. Make sure everything's checked the way it should be. And I'm trading micros. There's been a lot of people that have blown accounts because of mistakes they made on the trade copier or with the trade copier. For example, if this instrument is changed to the micros, let's just go do that. I want to show that as well. So if we change this to micros and we do the micro ES, or let's do micro NQ, see how now the cross order is going to the mini contracts where it wasn't in the past. So you can also cross order from a micro contract to the mini. I don't know why you would ever do that, but if you mistakenly have this as a micro for your instrument and you're using the cross order, you're going to cross order all your, check boxes here is going to go to the mini contract. So definitely things to be careful of. Double check things, make sure you're comfortable with it. Yeah, hopefully this makes sense. Now I do want to spend a little time. I spent most of my time here showing you the Apex trade copier. I'm going to close this now, and we're going to go to new, and we're going to go to Flowbots, and we're going to click on Replicanto. Now you will see immediately, you'll kind of know what I'm saying because there is very little difference, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over this one because it's just going to be the same exact thing. Again, the one thing that you'll see different here is the node IP and port. I'm not quite sure what that means, to be honest, but that looks different. Everything else looks pretty much the same. You select your account, you select your instrument. The interface looks the same. You have your exact quantity. You have your ratio. They have a pre-allocation option as well. I have no idea what that is, so I'm not going to go over it. But again, everything works the same. One thing I did notice, if you go to ratio with a Replicanto, it'll automatically put in a quantity of 1 for some reason, which I think is actually, usually we want 1 or more. But again, cross order. If you right click, checkbox cross order. If it is checked like that, like this, you just need to go and uncheck it for that to go away. But everything basically works the same with Replicanto, and they're, like I said in the beginning, I don't see a huge difference. I do know Replicanto does update. There's a little bit more, but yeah, I don't really think I need to spend more time on this than what I have. So hopefully this makes sense. I tried to cover everything that I know about Replicanto and the trade copier, how I use it, how it might be helpful to you. But yeah, if you are interested and are looking to trade multiple accounts, I think the trade copier is a must-have. And obviously use it to your discretion. Obviously, there's risk involved. Trading, using the trade copier, a lot of times we'll start to do math and we'll calculate, 20 accounts times XYZ. And I'm here to tell you it works both ways. Obviously, the numbers look really good when you make money. They also look really bad when you lose money. So just be careful of that. Full disclosure. And I might be talking from experience on that. But that's all I have for today. This video went way longer than what I thought it should. We're at 22 minutes long. If you're still here, thanks for sticking it out. Appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Again, I will put the link for both trade copier in the description below. And I do have a 20% discount affiliate code for the Replicanto that I'll share as well. It's pretty easy to remember. It's Nutty Bar 20. So I'll share that in the description as well if you want to save an additional 20% and help me out. That would be great. But I think that's all we have for now. Thank you, and we will see everybody Monday morning. Take care, and God bless.